Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein and the Road to 100, and today, it might be, kind of boring to see, regular average builds, but most of the time, if you're not paying attention, that, orange is fire, blue is lightning, white is ice, red is blood, a lot of times you can kind of miss out on some of the finer points of Vein, and so that's what I'd kind of like to just kind of point out, that this is the first area in the game where it really, really accentuates the fact that orange is fire, and you need to defend against fire, and you need to do ice damage. This is the first place in the game where it is like ever so clear that this is what you should very much be doing. And so most people, when they get to this point, they just deck out everything with ice, ice gifts, ice attacks, ice weapons, everything, because it just becomes so blatantly obvious that now that is not acceptable to do anywhere in Vein, is to just assume. However, the City of the Falling Flame is actually one of those places where you can safely assume that. It is probably the only place in the game where you can safely assume that. Defend against fire, number one, and number two, deal ice damage. That is pretty cut and dry. The white vestment here is, or black vestment, whichever one you prefer, is found here in the end part of the Ridges of Frozen Souls, right here at this chest in this little corridor here. So I figured, why not use that blood veil for this portion. And if you'll notice, the Noble Silver, even though it's a light specific blood veil, it only has a little bit more light value. It does have a lot less weight, 3 times the less amount of weight, but the white vestment does not get enough playtime, so that is what we are going to be going for. So, and you'll notice that we are not invincible by any means to any of the fire that we will be going up against, but we will have very, very good amount of damage. And the greatsword here that we're using is the very first one you pick up in the game. It is a very, very nice greatsword, and it was the one that carried me through my first playthrough almost exclusively. So if you're looking for a good, reliable damage dealing greatsword, this is a good one to kind of get big damage out on the enemy whenever you need it. It is a very, very good overall kind of base damage dealer, and it is still on the higher end of damage as compared to different attacks or different weapons that you come up against. So as you can see here, it takes care of these guys relatively easily. And now that we have just a little bit more fire defense, we should be up in the 120s, 125. So that's very, very nice. And we can't really get to invincible here unless we use elemental wall. But there's no reason to use elemental wall because of what we have is just good enough. So as you can see here, we just kind of are able to waltz in and take care of business here. No real issues to speak of, and we're completely content and able to just move along here. No real issues that we can see, but most of the time, this area is pretty difficult. When you are coming here for the first time, it gets easier as you move through time playing here in Vein, and it's unfortunate we lose our gifts right here because of the fact that you learn a little bit about resistances and the different gifts and what the game has to offer as a whole after going through it once completely. And so coming back here later on, you have way more gifts, you have a bunch of defensive gifts, gifts and everything, and you kind of understand what you should and shouldn't be doing with your blood veils and stuff. And so the second time through the flaming area here is much simpler. However, the first time through, it can be definitely quite daunting to do whatever as you go around in this area. And this is one of those fellas that definitely, you know, puts the screws to you to make sure that you kind of understand what should and shouldn't be happening with your skills here in Vayne. Whoops. Yes, please none of that. I will not have that in my game. Okay. Ouch. And this is a typical kind of normal encounter here with this guy. When you attack him, you know, first time, second time, third time, unless you go for massive, overwhelming crush and ice, and you buff incredibly well, and you become, you know, invincible and stuff. So that is one of those enemies that definitely makes you think twice about what is going on in your different play styles and such. And he definitely pulls no punches when you engage with him. So keep that in mind, that if you're going that route, you know, definitely watch out for the Blazing Heretic. He is one of those amazing enemies that definitely puts it to you if you aren't prepared for it. Now, this is another place where this weapon starts to shine, is the fact that it has these massive, wide sweeping strikes, and so you can almost hit enemies behind you because of the very wide AoE kind of attacks that it can perform. And it does these attacks very well. Okay, let's get red shoes going, which is nice that we can finally get it going here, first time having it active. And so now we don't have any real stamina concerns, but it is all about health concerns now. However, that is why we have improved regeneration for that 40% increase to our healing, to make sure that we always have enough health to or enough healing to make sure that we can heal up no problem, as much healing as we need to. Now here's another place where our weapon comes in very handy, is that it is doing Ice Crush against these meatballs here, and so we are able to do exceptionally well for damage attacks. Oh, there is the next one. So you can see that Ice Crush is pretty good for those guys, and we'll just go ahead and heal up and top off just to make sure. Always go for the bayonet first. Don't ever skimp on that. Okay. Whoops. Okay, let's get a launch here to buy us a little bit of time, as well as getting us some ichor. Okay, let's go ahead and heal. So that was 1400 health that we got there. Very nice. Very effective to have improved regeneration here along for the ride. And now let's get our buffs going here again. And we still have red shoes active, which is great. We don't need to worry about that. And now here we go. Okay, always go for the backstabs. It buys you a whole lot of time, a whole lot of it buys you a whole lot of openings, spaces, where you can get you know, gifts going, you can get attacks going, you can set up different abilities, like for example here. And since we're just kind of dancing around here with this guy, it is important to, you know, always watch your stamina here. However, because we have red shoes active, we don't need to care about our stamina at all. Another super win here for this sword is the reach that it has through the walls here. So let's see if we can. Oh, okay. So it's away from the wall. Okay, good. And a fireproof tonic. Excellent. So that filled up the one that we used. And here is where you get the white vestment from. So if you're looking for this blood veil here, you can find it right here. And it is kind of a mid-tier overall blood veil. And it's on the higher end of light blood veils. However, it is dwarfed by the Noble Silver and the Ivory Grace as you go along in the game, and so they kind of lose their effectiveness later on, so keep an eye on that. Okay, so for Emily here, this is a pretty standard fight. You'll get hit a lot, probably. She does a whole bunch of flurry of crazy attacks, and you want to do crush and ice, which is exactly what our weapon is here. Okay, and we'll get red shoes going. Okay, good. We got focused. That's sort of helpful. But the important thing is here to keep swinging, and that's just how this fight kind of goes. Okay, let's go ahead and heal one. And as you can see there, we definitely... Oh, whoops. Did not dodge at the appropriate time. Okay, so you can see that this fight is just pretty standard. And because we are able to do, you know, a lot of damage because of our weapon, as well as having red shoes active, you just keep swinging, and you can just, you know, hit her so many times that she just kind of fails as a boss. And so this is kind of just, you know, regular weapons, a few buffs, nothing super special, and we weren't even invincible to fire. We had two things which are very common that you find. Flame protection, you get it from the Ashen Cavern, so you always have it coming here, and a fire chrome, since you're here in the City of Falling Flame, you always find two next to the middle missile. What was that one called? Not the back alley. We're in the back alley. It is the raised cityscape. There are two Scothic chromes right here in this area. Right under the area here where you drop down. They're right here. You might have seen me pick those up. So you always get two of those. So, and you get the white vestment at the end. And you get this at the beginning of the game, and you'll always have Fion Chromes from the Ridge of Frozen Souls before you get here. So everything here is pretty average, pretty normal to have at this point in time. And the and the City of Falling Flame should never, ever really be a struggle at any point in time, because this fire value here of 80, it does not change with level, it doesn't change with progression, it doesn't change with anything. So having a Scothic Chrome on the white vestment here is always going to be 80, regardless of what you do. So keep that in mind, that if you're going for, something pretty basic here, get flame protection, get a white vestment, get some fireproof tonics, and then put some things together, and you should have a very simple time running through the City of Falling Flame almost every time, all the time. So unless you forego some of these basic accoutrements, if you will, to your blood code, most of the time you shouldn't have any issues at all. Sometimes it is fun to go through here with like negative fire resistance or something, or 0 fire resistance, to try and see are you able to actually win by getting one shot by every single enemy. And sometimes that's a challenge that some folks might like to do, but for me it's just enjoyable to kind of relax and go through here as simple and easy as possible. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. Bye.